Hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to the Profit Ladder settings. I'm now going to be showing you exactly how to go about setting up your robot. In the previous lesson, we looked at how to add the robot um, to the chart or the forex pair that you want to trade. I'm going to be running through that again, and then I'm going to be taking you through how to change the settings, but more importantly, what those settings actually mean. So without wasting any time, let's jump into the lesson. Once you're in your VPS, we'll start going over some of the aspects I've already explained in the previous lesson, but I think it's important that we revise it. All right. Um, so what I want you to do is I'm just going to go through this again. Please ensure that your navigator window is on. All right. And how to basically toggle it on and off is by clicking this navigator icon. It's the yellow star with the yellow folder. You can switch that on and off. Right. Open your expert advisors here. Once you open your expert advisors, you can use Profit Ladder. The one that you're going to be downloading, if you purchase this product, will either be version 1, version 2, or whatever, but the latest version will always be in the members site. So what I want to do is I want to add Profit Ladder. Sorry, let me just delete the previous one that I've expert advisors, remove. Okay, so let's go for this. All right, so we're going to add Profit Ladder to the screen. I told you that you go into the common area, make sure that live trading is on, make sure your DLL imports are on, and allow import of external experts is on. You can then click on your inputs. This is what's different this time around because now I'm going to be taking you through the actual settings. So now you can see that there is a number of settings here, and I'm going to explain to you how to go about setting this up. At the end of the lesson, I will also give you the actual numbers that I have used or the actual settings that I have used on my broker. Now, it's important to understand that it really depends which broker you're with, and you have to optimize these settings. And I will be showing you in the next lesson how to go about backtesting and checking which settings really work. But the reality is that every broker's spreads and commissions are different, and not one robot is not one size fit all for every broker. So it's important to understand that there is a certain amount of optimization that really needs to happen here. And I'm not going to go into optimization of robots, etc., because it's an entire course on its own, and there's tons of videos available on YouTube in terms of how to do back testing, etc. But I'm going to give you the most highly likely settings that will work, and then you can go and tweak one or two of these numbers. But I think it's important that you first understand what these numbers actually mean, and that is what I'm going to do for you right now. Before we start diving into the settings, I think it's important that I explain to you how the EA works. Obviously, from an IP point of view, I don't want to give away too much of the workings of the EA, but the bottom line is that you have to set up the EA in a way that you can get maximum benefit and profits from it. I'm going to be going through each and every one of the settings and how to basically find some of the settings and what they really mean. All right. So when you do adjust any settings, you know exactly what they mean. I am going to give you my stock standard settings that I use to basically find profitable results. However, you're going to have to tweak it from broker to broker, and it's not very difficult to do. And that is why it's important for you to understand what each of these settings mean. Now, the first setting is really about risk management, and I'll take you through that now. But before we start on the settings, once again, the EA works in a grid system, all right? And what that means is that when price moves up or down, the EA will activate a or open a buy or a sell trade depending on what the market looks like, and it's gonna be entering certain trades. Now, the first thing you need to do is to make sure that your chart is on the daily time frame, and I'll show you how that is done. Because what it's looking for overbought or oversold conditions on the daily time frame before it enters a trade. And when it enters the trade on the overbought or oversold condition, it will then either take a profit, and if it doesn't take a profit and the trade actually moves in the direction opposite to what you anticipated it would move, it will open another trade. And we'll continue doing this until the price retraces into the direction that you anticipated, and it will cash in on a trade. That's really what the EA does. But at some point, right, which I'm going to take you through later on, it actually switches the methodology around where it reaches a point where the hedging function gets activated. And instead of using a stop loss, what we are doing is we are hedging, and the hedging is activated as a percentage of drawdown. And I'll explain this to you right now. So the bottom line is that you open a trade. If it cashes in profit, it will continue opening newer trades that will either be in the correct direction that you've anticipated, and it will take a profit. However, if it doesn't, it will also open trades, and it will cash in eventually once all the open trades are in profit. And this is basically the methodology at which it trades. And if there are too many, let's say, buy trades open, it will start opening sell trades, and it will start hedging. And once all the open trades are in profit, it will basically close out. Now, let's dive into this minimum account equity. The first thing that you need to know is that you want to protect your balance, right? And when I say you want to protect your account balance, the important balance that we're looking at is the equity balance. And let's say you are trading a $10,000 account, you can set this account equity to, let's say, $9,000, which means you are willing to lose $1,000 on your account. Now, with forex trading, you cannot guarantee that the market will move in the way that it has done historically. So it's very important that we understand that you can make profits with forex, but you also need to understand that there are losses. And what we are doing here with the minimum account equity protection is that we are setting what the allowable loss is we would like to take on that account. The bottom line is you don't want to lose your entire account. And like I said, if you are trading a $10,000 account, you need to decide, do you want to lose 10? Are you willing to lose 10%? Are you willing to lose 50% of that account? Um, the choice is really up to you. Once again, I'm going to share some of my settings with you, but the bottom line is that your equity protection will kick in, and this allows you to determine the allowed loss that you want on your account, and you don't want to lose more than that. And the robot will basically stop trading. So if you look at point number 2 under the minimum equity protection, it says all trades will be closed automatically when this account has been reached. So let's say you trading, you started with $10,000. If this or if the market moves in a way that you are down to $9,000, all trades will be closed, and you will then not have any new trades opening up, right? Now, the nice thing about this robot is that it usually moves in a very profitable way. And what you can do is, if you look at point number 4, is that as your account grows, increase your minimum equity protection. So let's say your account moves from $10,000 to $11,000, you can then set your equity protection at $10,000, which means if your initial investment was $10,000, you will basically not lose anything on this account, which means you are now trading risk-free going forward because you're only trading with the profits that was made on the account. Let's say your account moves to $12,000, you adjust your minimum equity to $11,000. So you continuously shift this amount as the account grows, which means you are then trading risk free because you are trading with the profits rather than your initial investment. The next one we're going to be looking at is the maximum profit cash out. Now, like I said, you can either increase there's two strategies you can deploy. You can leave the account to grow and not withdraw anything, but with a maximum profit cash out, some traders might want to actually withdraw that $1,000 they made on the $10,000 investment. So what you can do is you can set a maximum profit cash out. So let's say you set it to $11,000. That means that when your account grows from $10,000 to $11,000, the EA will basically stop trading. It will close all trades when your equity has reached that $11,000, which means the EA will not trade any further when your equity amount has been exceeded. This prevents you from over trading and actually getting that money out of your account. So now your balance will be back to 10,000 if you withdrew that 11,000. I'm not telling you to withdraw the money. The other thing you can do is you can assess the market to see if it's in a predominantly uptrend or downtrend, and whether you actually want to remain trading or whether you just want to pause and wait for uh, another time to actually start trading. But the bottom line is the maximum profit cash out doesn't mean that you're going to cash out, but it means that you can actually stop trading and that you are in a profitable position to reassess things in terms of what the way forward is. So all trades will be closed out when your equity exceeds this amount, and this is a desired profit level that you can set on the robot. The other thing that we have now is the maximum drawdown. Now, the maximum drawdown is basically the difference between your account balance and your equity. So, let's say during trading, right, your balance or your equity and your balance are out of sync, which means there's obviously open trades, and your account balance reaches a value of, let's say, $13,000, and you want to set your maximum drawdown to $3,000, right? It means that when your account has reached $13,000, you are allowing the open trades to be in a deficit of $3,000, which means that if your account balance is 13,000 and you reach an equity of $10,000, all trades will close out automatically. This, however, does not mean that the EA will not continue trading. Okay. This only closed out all the trades because you felt that you were in too much of a negative situation from an equity versus balance point of view. All right. This does not stop the EA from trading. The only time the EA will stop trading or the robot will stop trading is when the minimum account equity has basically been breached. Which means if you started with 10,000 and you said your minimum equity amount is 9,000, the only time the EA will stop trading is when the 9,000 has been reached, or if you've achieved your maximum profit cash out. So maximum drawdown does not deactivate the EA or stop the EA from trading. However, minimum account equity protection and maximum profit cash out does stop the EA from trading indefinitely. So let's go back to this maximum drawdown. I just want to emphasize all that it is the account balance less the equity. If that situation occurs while trading, all trades will be closed automatically when the maximum drawdown is greater than this preset amount. The robot will continue to trade if the minimum account equity protection is not breached. And this amount is also used in conjunction now with the hedging function, which I'm going to explain further down the list here. You'll see there it says hedge trigger DD percentage. And I'll explain it when I get to that point, but not now. But please note that the maximum drawdown does impact the entry for hedging. The next input or the next setting is the martingale start. All this is your initial lot size. Now, once again, if you don't understand what lot sizes are and so on, if you're new to trading, you can go into the Forex Expert Secrets program, which we've given you as a free bonus to understand the basics of Forex. Please go and have a look what a lot size is. And once again, I'm going to be giving you the settings which I have used. Then you got the martingale loss factor. And the martingale loss factor is basically the factor which is used where the lots are multiplied at should price reach the various grid levels. So I've explained already that the EA works on a grid system. So if a trade is opened and the price moves in the wrong direction, another trade will be opened at the next price level, which is equal to the gap in pips. Now, if you don't understand what pips are, once again, there's the Forex Expert Secrets program that explains what pips are. Then you've got the RSI low and the RSI high. Now, all this means is that on the daily time frame, it's looking for areas where the market is either oversold or overbought. Now, when the RSI is low, it means that you will enter a buy trade. Now, only one buy trade will be entered if the relative strength index or RSI is below this preset value, because it's basically telling you now that the market is oversold and you want to enter buy positions. When you look at the RSI high setting, that means that you will enter sell trades because the market is overbought. Now, it's important to note that it will only enter one trade in this area, and it will then activate the algorithm in terms of either opening more trades or closing if it is in profit. And if more trades open and you haven't entered the hedge yet, then it will close at a certain profit level, which I'm about to explain to you now. You'll see that you have closing profit. Now, what closing profit is that if you open, let's for argument's sake, say a buy trade, the EA has opened or the robot has opened a buy trade. If you have one buy trade that is open, or two buy trades, or three buy trades, but zero sell trades, if you only have buy trades that are open, then this would be the closing profit number that you are setting. If you only have sell trades, the same applies. But if you have buy and sell trades open simultaneously, then closing profit 2 is really the value that we are going to be looking at. So when the EA is in a hedge situation where you've got buy and sell trades that are open, then it will close against the closing profit 2 preset value. So I'm just going to emphasize that again or repeat that again. Closing profit, if you've only got buy trades open, it will close at closing profit. If you only have sell trades open, it will close at closing profit. When you have buy and sell trades open simultaneously, which means the hedge function in the EA has been activated, that means it will close at the closing profit 2 preset value. Now I'm going to be explaining to you the hedge trigger drawdown percentage. Now the hedge trigger is basically the drawdown value at which the hedge function will be activated. So let's say you have a drawdown, or let's start with your account, which is a $10,000 account, and let's say you set the drawdown to 10,000, right? That means if you set the drawdown percentage to 30%, it's telling the EA, hold on, I am now $3,000 down in my account. I need to open a hedge to start balancing the trades, and that I go into a hedge function so that I don't go into too large a drawdown. Now, this won't necessarily stop you or prevent you from going into a bigger drawdown, but from a probability point of view, it helps to control the drawdown that you are going into. And it really helps the account to then close into a different profit value, which is closing profit 2 rather than closing profit 1. So here we are in our account. So what I want to show you, the first thing you need to do is just go to this inputs tab. I'm going to go back here just so that I can show you how to get there. All right. Um, we're going to start again. You can see you are going to, okay, let's go even back further, right? You're going to open a new chart and you can either select pound USD from there, or you can go to FX majors, depending on which pair you want to basically trade. You go to pound USD, you go and you select the daily time frame, which is D1, or you go to insert, tools. Let's just see here quickly. No, it's charts, time frames, and go to D1, which is daily. Once you've selected daily, I want you to then add the robot by either double clicking on the robot. That's me double clicking with the left button on the mouse, or you can click in the left button and drag it onto the chart. You've now got your EA loaded. You go to the common tab. You make sure that allow live trading is selected, DLL imports, external exports, and say okay. Now you will see that the robot has a sad face, and you want that for now. You don't want to activate the auto trading yet, right? So now what you do is you right click on your mouse and you go to expert advisors and you go to properties. Once you're in the properties tab, you'll see we are back here where we were. Make sure you go to inputs. Once you go into the inputs, I've explained what all these inputs means. Now, if you have a $10,000 account, you might want to lose 9% like I've had here, and which means you set this to 9,100. You might be comfortable and say, listen, I'm happy to have a larger loss on the account, and I'm happy to lose $5,000 on that account, which means when my equity reaches 5,000, I can basically have the robot stop trading. Your maximum profit cash out, right? You might want to set this to only $1,000 in profit, which means if it's a $10,000 account, you go and you set it to $11,000. You might say, no, I want to only have the robot stop when I'm on $12,000. So you are $2,000 in profit. Your maximum drawdown on the account in this case, right? Remember, drawdown, as I explained, is your account balance minus your equity. You might say, I don't care, right? I've already got equity protection set at 5,000. So I'm happy that when this account grows to 15,000, I'm still happy to lose $10,000 on this account. I'm just making an example, guys. And you want to actually have you're happy for this EA to have a lot more room to breathe, and you can have a drawdown of $10,000. But you might say, no, I'm more conservative. I only want to lose $2,000, or I only want the drawdown on this account to be $2,000, which means you then set your drawdown to 2,000. Just for purposes of this, I just want to make this 10,000 if you don't mind, because I need to explain the drawdown later and the hedge function. Okay, so then you can say my initial lot size. Where do I want to start? Do I want to start with a lot size of 0.2? Do I want to start with a lot size of 1? Now, just remember when you're trading a standard lot and you are looking at, look, I'm rather going to tell you the lesson on lot sizes are in the Forex Expert Secrets program, but and you can go and have more understanding in terms of what lot sizes are. Just remember your martingale start is the initial lot size. And let's just make that 1 for now for argument's sake. And this here is the multiplication factor that you want to use should your trade move in the wrong direction and it hits the next grid level, which means your next lot will be 1.5 lots if your starting lot was it was at 1, which means every time you move to the grid level, you are multiplying your lot by the ratio of 1.5 or 150%, in other words. The gap, you can set the gap to what you believe, either 50 pips, 100 pips, 150 pips, 10 pips, it doesn't matter. Right, and again, I'm going to provide you some of the settings I've used for pound USD and Euro USD, and you can just go and input those numbers and see what your demo account actually behaves like under those settings. Then there's an RSI low, there's an RSI high that basically says it's oversold, And when the RSI is below 10, you want to start entering buy signals. Here you want to start entering sell signals, and you can change this. And that's I actually only want it when it's above 5 or below or above 95 and below 5. Or you can say, no, that's too strict. I'm looking for when RSI is below 30, I'm happy to enter buy trades, or when it's above 70, I'm wanting to enter sell trades. And then you can also indicate your profits that you want to enter. Now, just remember, closing profit is when you only have one type of trade open, either only buys or only sells. If you've got buys and sells open, then closing profit 2 applies. So closing profit that you are looking at here now, that means that your account is not hedged at this point in time. You've only got buys open, or you only have sells open, and you want to take a profit of $100. And here you got buys and sells open, and you only want to and you want to only take a profit of $50 because you have buys and sells open, and actually want to get out of this trade quicker than where you were here with only buys or sells open, because now you're in a hedge situation which you want to really get out of. All right, you just want to be slightly profitable, but you still want to get out of these trades. Now, for the hedge function to trigger, right, this here says 50% of the drawdown. All right, now I'm going to make this 10% as an example. Now you will see that you have set your drawdown to $10,000. Now this EA doesn't operate with a stop loss. And what it does is it says when the open profit on this account is negative, it's negative in value, but negative to the value of 10% of this 10,000, which means it's $1,000. So if you're $1,000 in negative or negative $1,000, it will activate the hedge, but only when the account hasn't been hedged yet. This means that only buys are open or only sells are open. And when those, let's just say it's the buy entries that has been entered, when you are in the buy trade and you open, let's say, a number of buy trades, and your drawdown reaches 10% of the actual drawdown that you put in as a preset, and in this case it will be $1,000, you will start hedging, and vice versa. Right, your maximum spread, I normally leave this at 5. I do not want the EA to open any trades if the or that initial trade, I don't want it to open if the maximum spread is greater than 5 pips. Once again, if you don't understand pips and lots and all those sorts of things, I strongly suggest you first go and do the Forex Expert Secrets program, which is for beginners. And once you've accepted all your settings, all you will do is you will say, okay. And once you've selected okay, you can now see that this profit ladder robot has been added, but it still has a sad face to it. Now that sad face, to get it activated, all you need to do is you need to go and click auto trading. You will see that it changes now to a smiley face, which means it's now operating. The EA is now in robot mode. The robot will now start opening and closing trades. So that's basically how to set up your EA. We've come to the end of this lesson, and in the next lesson, I'm going to be showing you some of the settings that I've used, and I'm going to be giving you those settings that you can go and start using on your demo account and start running this EA. All right.